We're back.
We're back with your two favorite celebrities.
We had to avoid the paparazzis.
Yep.
I had to skate past a fiance and two dogs that were completely uninterested in me, but somehow I made it down here unscathed. Taylor Swift, I feel you now. All of those paparazzis in your life, like that's got to be difficult.
I don't understand it. I walk normal and all the headshots go above my head. I don't get it. If you've seen our previous videos, like Discovery number 9, where I'm like halfway up to Chuck's chest because I'm a midget. Part of the lollipop gang. You watch
Fun
out.
size.
Me and my Oompa Loompa gang will get you.
Man, we got to get this back on track. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
We went off a tangent. So we are going to continue on with our Celebrity Bourbon Challenge. And this next one is going to be Chuck versus Brian again. Chuck has, in the last episode, along with me, said what it was that we entered and what Brian entered. So good old Brian, of course, entered Long Branch. All right. But he's not the spokesman anymore. They
parted ways or canned him. I don't know. Supposedly.
Who knows? But yeah, so you got Matthew McConaughey and Long Branch, which they are going to keep producing Long Branch. That is not going away. I think it's going to continue to have his signature on it, but he is just not going to be their like PR person anymore. So who knows? And then, of course, a bottle we've all been interested in, and I give Brian props for pulling the trigger on this, which is Blackened. And it's just a regular Blackened. So that is Metallica. Am I right?
Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enter Sandman.
So they did the whole... So they worked with... Dave Pickrell, because he was a big fan and everything like that.
Doesn't Dave Pickrell hasn't he started like 37 bourbon brands?
Well, so originally, if I remember right, he was with Maker's Mark, and then he left, and then he consulted because a lot of people don't realize, like back in the day, like they didn't like the master distillers didn't make 50, 60, 70,000. That's it. Just recently with the big bourbon boom, they're starting to be able to make more. And that's why you see a lot of these master distillers leaving companies and starting their own stuff because they can start demanding higher wages and everything like that. But I'm sure he made way more money consulting and helping start these things up. So he's done a lot of these startups. Woodinville is another example that he did and is an amazing product. So pretty much anything his name is attached to is at least worth giving it a try because he's done some amazing stuff. And so, he was approached by them to start up a brand. They did it. Of course, it's a celebrity brand. And of course, they had to do some questionable stuff, and what they did is they blast the barrels with Metallica.
It's sonically enhanced. So
and
to increase the speed of aging.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you put whiskey on a boat and it rocks just right, it helps it too. To be fair,
or in a tour bus or truck or semi or whatever, and drive across the country. Brad Paisley.
To be fair, when we went to Copper and Kings, and that is a really fun tour here in Louisville, they, in their distillery or in their aging area, blast music all the time. And they also believe the same thing.
If you can do it with beef and then charge an outrageous price.
Yep.
Like feed it beer and massage it and play classical music or something. Like, why can't you do it with whiskey and charge a great better price?
To be fair, scientifically, because they are all choosing songs with deep bass, it is going to cause vibrations and there is going to be some agitation. And if you've studied anything about whiskey and everything like that, you know the more air that gets into the whiskey and the bourbon, it does change flavor profiles. So there's
increasing the interaction with the liquid and the wood, perhaps as well.
So there's something there, but this is where Chuck and I firmly believe, and I mean, like, if we could get people to pay us, we would gladly do it, which is doing true scientific studies behind this to like scientifically definitively say it. But the problem is, at the end of the day, taste is subjective, and that's all you've got. You can't like.
Yeah, but a mass spec is not subjective. So it's like if we can, like, there are things you can measure in whiskey that are coming out of the wood. So
yeah, so the most we could do is we could definitively say there is a difference, but I think I'm willing to say there's probably
whether it's better or not,
right,
is
subjective.
I don't know. Well, maybe we'll find out. So there it is. So blackened.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've been wanting to try blackened. I've been wanting to try blackened. So
yeah, and they have. I mean, to be fair, they've done some other like what was their rye. Was it a rye collaboration last year?
Yeah, they did a rye collaboration. I think they've done a more
pretty good reviews.
Version. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they've got a more premium version and things like that. So, but I've heard just the regular blackened is pretty good. So I'm excited. So I'll say the first one has a little bit of a doughy note to it.
Oh, really? So this is my number one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure that we're on the same page. On the same.
And then Brian's has got like a sweet, almost. I almost say this would be port finish, to be honest.
Almost like a little bit of a tobacco note.
Yeah.
On that nose.
Can't say
like sweet tobacco.
I think I'm leaning towards Brian's. I never thought I'd say this just based on the nose.
The palate is quite watery on Brian's. A little bit of honey.
Whoa. Your palate. Wow, there's a lot going on. And I don't know if I like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because when you're
I say that, and for you guys watching, the reason I say that is not traditional bourbon notes at all. And I'm going in expecting traditional bourbon notes. So I need to try it again with a different expectation.
It's got a drying wood character in the tannic, I guess you could say, also in the back of that palate. Bit of a bitterness. Is that what you're picking? Like, is it overdone for you?
So if I had to guess, and it'll be fun to see the answer.
No, don't guess. I'm asking your opinions first and tasting notes, and then we can guess.
No, this all goes together. I feel like this is the Tennessee because I'm getting sweet, but then I'm getting a lot of like toasted, over oaked notes that you get on like Nulu products and things like that. So that's what, right? Nowhere near that bad. But it's very prevalent, and the oak comes through, and it's not an old oak; it's a young toasted oak. So, like, if I had to say, that's what it is. It reminds me of chewing on, sugarcane is really what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get this drying young oak wood character that reminds me a lot of toasted finishes. So I agree with. I'm not getting a lot of what I classically get on toasted finishes, more nutmeg and allspice, and I'm not really getting that on it. It's almost like a bit more of a char, bit of more of a smoked wood, I guess.
Yeah.
But the nose to me is quite robust. I like it. I can see where that palate could either you could either enjoy it or it could be too much for you, especially that drying sensation.
And then Brian's is weaker, but it's sweeter and I feel like more uniform. Like with yours, there's so much going on and it like takes you different places, but I feel like it's jagged. Like it's not a uniform blending process. Brian's is a uniform, takes me on a journey that I know I'm going on. It's not some sharp turns. But there's not as much.
The journey you're excitement. Going on when you get put in the back of the van.
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's a perfect example. Like when I was young,
I'm okay with it.
I went in the back of the van. You know, you just lay down, you take a nap. You know, your parents are going to get you where you need to go.
Right on the if you got the seat on the school bus that were right on the wheel well.
Mm-hmm.
a little bumpy, but you knew where it was going.
Yeah.
No, I get like this is like a sweet corn muffin to me on the nose.
Yeah.
And then to me, it's like one of the, and it's got, this is probably lower proof, so less than 90 proof. The texture and mouthfeel through the palate, or just it leaves me wanting more. It's just very watery.
This is the closest I feel like I've been in a long, long time because they're both good in their different perspectives. It could go either way for me. Like it really depends
on
how
you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, just still back to the Brian's here, the second one. Get a little bit more of like even like a cream soda. So even though it's like a watery palate, the flavors in the backside are quite nice, and I'm getting mostly like a sweet cream soda.
That is
which is brings good memories back. I used to love A&W cream soda. That was my go-to.
Right. Which is like
used to be able to get it for 25 cents.
Yeah. Which explains why I like it so much, because I love me some A&W cream soda. So this might be one we have to go to the tiebreaker.
I mean, if you're choosing Brian's, yeah, we need to go to the tiebreaker, because I choose this one. It's the finish to me is superior. The nose is superior. Again, I can see why, like, you can take or leave that. Is it too bitter for you? How are you feeling about that toasted oak character?
Give it one more shot, but
maybe toasted maple character.
Brian's cream soda amazingness.
Did he slip in oil fire?
Oh. Man, this is like, I feel like these two, whatever they are, need to be in like a legitimate lineup, because I would drink either of these.
I think TJ's overselling this. While TJ's deliberating, if you would follow your favorite celebrities, those of us at Power Bourbon, hit the like and subscribe.
Yep. All right.
Tell us how you're feeling.
Let's see what Heather said.
And the deciding factor.
Yep.
For the second time in 3 matches.
So I just like to put this out there. I love my wife because we think alike. So I was going to go, and
did she write notes, or did she?
She did write notes, actually. I like this. It made me feel good. So I'm going Brian's.
So she agreed with you?
No, she did not. She agreed that it was yours, but she put on there, very good matchup. Both are good. Thank you.
This was an early, like, what was it last year in the tournament? Was it North Carolina that was really like an 8 seed or a 9 seed or something? Very improperly seeded. Yeah. So this is unfortunate that this matchup occurred this early.
Oh yeah, I would say either of these. Well, like, so my first two, I feel like either of these could have beat those.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of them that they could beat.